so wonderful to see everything moving, just as it really is. All the places, the chemist shop, Jacob Miller. Mrs. Potter. All the children out in Rockaby Road. Our whole life, just as it is.
A moving picture of the principal thoroughfares of the city will be taken today at 11 a.m., including views of Hay, Barrett and William Street, Rockaby Road, Subiaco, and St George's Terrace near the General Post Office. Come and be in the picture!
Distance lends a certain enchantment to these scenes of our past. The old-fashioned steamboat, the quaint clothes, the simple pleasures of a ferry ride, a trip to the beach, and the naive, open faces of people eager to be in the picture, yet shy of the camera. It all seems so remote, so simple, so different from the modern world. And it was. The life of an isolated community on the western edge of the Australian continent, right up to the Second World War, was fundamentally different from the modern world. The earliest films we have record directly and artlessly the concerns of a small, integrated community. Not that there weren't problems, but even the solutions to their problems have a sense of community involvement to them that is quite novel to us. The enterprising publican of the Shamrock Hotel enticed over 300 volunteers out on a Sunday morning. Part of the bargain was the announcement that cinematographic pictures will be taken. It was just the incentive needed to mobilize a workforce. It's hard to say which delighted the volunteers more, working alongside their mates, playing up to the camera, or drinking the free kegs of beer provided by the publican at the end of the day. The filmmakers of the period recorded the special events of the year as well as the everyday concerns. For a community that knew its wealth depended on wheat, wool, mutton and beef, the most important event in the calendar was the Royal Agricultural Show. World events, even national events, were not usually the concern of the early cinematographers. They took pictures of the life they found around them. And that world was slow-moving, leisurely. Transport was so inefficient by our standards. A trip to the zoo in South Perth on the other side of the Swan River was a full day's adventure that began with a ride on the paddle steamer. But if life was slow, it was also rich with possibilities which have been largely forgotten in a world obsessed with speed.
We would go from animal to animal in a constant state of excitement. Every moment seemed so precious in that special world of exotic animals and lush vegetation. I remember Colonel Swift, who ran the zoo. He used to talk to us children. He would tell us about all the animals and about the terrible day the hippopotamus swallowed a big rubber ball.
were spacious, shady areas for family picnics and free hot water from big coppers for making tea. A trip to the zoo was a family affair, and family meant aunts and uncles and grandparents and dozens of cousins. The faces speak to us of a community, perhaps limited in their concerns and pleasures, but certain of the reality of their world. Why did the cameramen of the day spend so much time photographing picnics, city streets, the royal show and trips to the zoo? The novelty of photography and film provides only part of the answer. It seems that people were delighted to be photographed and to see themselves as they were.
What I remember best is the elephant rides. When I first went, the elephant, Rowney was her name, was quite small and could only take 4 people on her back. But as she grew, she was able to take up to 6 people at a time. There was a lovely swaying motion that could quite put you to sleep if you could stop laughing with your friends.
The zoo was short of money, and so Colonel Leswep started all sorts of novelty events. From rides to raffles, baby shows, treasure hunts and dancing competitions. There was a great rage for Scottish dancing at the time. The judges debate their verdict on the young lady's performance. Her brother is not impressed.
The zoo stank. My idea of fun as a child was a trip to the beach.